I'm thinking about the biblical fall, the fall from grace, and why it's thought of as a fall, particularly in relation to the things I've been thinking about and talking about in some of these videos, to do with height and depth, and how height kind of represents in our imagination the improvement and betterment and development and growth and those kind of things, and depth tends to represent a decline or a worsening or a lowering of expectations. So even when I'm saying I'm using the words I'm talking about, I shouldn't really do that. Yeah, so I've talked a little bit about aspirations to improvement through education or through some kind of personal growth, and ultimately through what's sometimes referred to as spiritual growth, as a rise up an incline or a climbing a hill. And I've given some kind of embodied instantiations of that, how it might come from embodied experience, and conversely how it declines and slumps and sinks into depression and sinks into well, all kinds of low behaviour, if you like, might also come from embodied experiences. But I'm thinking that in grand terms, see if I can find a way to think of the biblical fall from grace as part of that narrative. Come on. Because it seems to me that that's quite an important one. I think it's complex, because I'm not a biblical scholar by any means, but my understanding is that you've got these two people in the Garden of Eden, and they are unaware of they haven't yet eaten of the knowledge of the fruit of the tree of God, the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and it's the knowledge of good and evil. So they don't know what good is, they don't know what evil is. They essentially have no value system. So as far as I see, they're just kind of behaving like animals at this point. And that's kind of fine. But they also, they also have some kind of divine spark in them. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, they eat of this tree of good and evil, and there's some kind of a fall takes place, a descent. Yeah, it seems to me the only thing that the only way I can conceptualize that is that there's that something kind of falls into them, falls into their animal being, that there's some other part of them which is floating above them somehow, or is in the Empyrean, or is in the divine. Oh, I don't know. It's somewhere up there anyway. And then by eating of this tree, perhaps you have to climb. I don't know. Anyway, perhaps but having this, gaining access to knowledge of good and evil, which I personally associate with the dawning of consciousness, but I might be way off in that. This divine spark, this other bit of them, this Cartesian separate spirit or soul, kind of falls and hits them and lands in them and becomes part of them. I'm not saying that's how it is. It's just that this is just a visualization that's going on in my head when I think about it. And so instead of being these innocent animals with this strange divine spiritual counterpart in heaven, they become what I think Professor Anton referred to as, I get this right, angels with anuses, I think he said. Angels with anuses. We stop being those kind of creatures and become basically animated alimentary canals with all this stuff, the power of language at one end and a pile of shit at the other. I don't think I've really addressed the question of why it's a fall, though. Yeah, I guess it's conceptualizing human beings as this meeting point between the growth of an animal and the descent of an angel. It's that kind of a thing, I think. Trying to understand ourselves by positing this vertical dimension and trying to interpret our own experience of growth and development, but at the same time trying to explain the bad stuff as well. There's this part of ourselves that falls